Every custom build that we do has a story, and this is Simon's story. He came to us with a Trek Emonda that he'd smashed up in an accident. His insurance company paid out. He said, Paul, I want to make sure I get it right this time. And this is what I do. I do road time trials, I do my fast group rides, and I love getting out in the evening for a good hard ride. What can we put together for this is my budget? I want a really good heritage European brand. And this is what we came up with together, and now it's ready for his bike fit. Let me show you how all this came together. Every custom built bike has a story, and this one's no exception. In fact, it's quite an interesting one, which is why I want to make this video today. And it might resonate with quite a few of you watching this. Now, this rider came to us. He currently rides a Trek Emonda, a COVID bike. About the only one available at the time in his size, waited for ages, very rushed fit, had loads of problems with it. Anyway, sadly, he was involved in quite a nasty accident and the frame got completely smashed up. Chainstays were broken, head tubes were, it's just a mess. Anyway, he had that bike insured through a company called Lacquer. Actually, they've been a dream to work with, and hopefully we can do some more work with them. I've never heard of them before this moment. And they just paid out straight away. They saw all the damage, said, yeah, absolutely, here you go, here's your insurance payout. So we had quite a tight budget to work with. The rider only wanted to add a little bit of their own cash to top it up if we absolutely had to. But the brief was, he is a midlife cyclist who has been coached in the past. He's fit, he's strong. And the brief was, I want a bike to enjoy fast group rides. I want to go and do the local clubs, road time trials, and get out after work for a good, fast, fun ride. Brilliant. What can we put together? I really want something to be proud of from like a good European heritage brand. Now, the budget for this was about £6,000 and the look 795, which would absolutely hit that. I mean, that frame set starts at £5,300. That is definitely a luxury premium product. We weren't going to be able to get the dream bike, if you like, meet the whole brief. We would have had to make loads of compromises, even if we could. The same goes with the Tyres Skyline. We've had to make loads of compromises on the build to get the overall package to hit that design brief. So what we did, we got on the phone a couple of times, talked them through a few ideas, presented the idea of the Wilier Filante SL and an outline of a build. The customer was pretty interested. Yeah, actually, that looks like it's going to work for me, but I want to check the fit. We talked through geometry, and eventually they travelled up to us. They took it for a test ride, had an amazing couple of hours test riding it around the local area, and that was it. They said, right, brilliant, I want that, but we need to make this bike here that we've got in the shop with all the Campagnolo super record goodness, make it fit my budget, and this is what we came up with. Here we go then, ready for the big day. It's bike collection day. This is how your bike will look when you come and collect it. Let me talk you through the spec and then I'll sort of show you what happens in our bike fitting room. So, the Wilier Filante SL, it's a £2,999 frame set, and that includes seat post and the bars. Everything's a really solid frame, all your UCI stickers on there, lovely aero bike, and the fit is going to be brilliant. We've gone through all the geometry charts, really, really happy with that. Ultegra group set, like, it is so cheap right now, and it's just taken another price reduction. You can get a really good bike with an Ultegra group set on there now, way cheaper than you can get them fully built these days. Absolutely incredible deals to be had on that. Must mean there's a new group set coming. We have done a couple of little cheeky upgrades just to sneak that budget, and that is we've gone for a Dura Ace cassette. This is the 11 through to 34. The reason is that you can lose the majority of the weight out of an Ultegra group set is probably in the cranks and the cassette and a little bit in the disc rotors. Talking of which, we've also upgraded the disc rotors to the Dura Ace ones, one because they look so much better and it's a tiny bit lighter as well. But the Dura Ace cassette is really where the weight savings and the durability comes from as well. Then for wheels, we have gone for the Erie Research Genus II. Now these are a carbon rim, carbon spoke, and their own design hubs, which I think is probably a H-Works or KTI or something. It looks fairly familiar. Now for me, these blur the boundaries between direct from China and European brand, because on their website you can buy absolutely every spare. They send spokes out like the Chinese brands do, but you can also go on their website and you can get every single part of that hub available on their website. They also do their own tyres, their own saddles. Really nice brand out of Switzerland and the Netherlands. I'm going to talk about that more in another video because they're a really fascinating brand. And also the logos, they're not stickers, they're actually sort of laser etched into the carbon. It looks really cool and the quality of the wheel build is excellent. Take a look at this, 1300 gram for the wheel set for 130 kilogram rider weight and using Enduro and SKF bearings. The ratchet is a DT Swiss style 36 tooth, and they even use Sapin Aero carbon spokes, branded spokes that even list the tension in Newton meters. Gone for the Continental Archetype tyres, push the boat out on that, you'll get much better performance out of your tyres than almost any other part of the bike. So these are the latest and greatest from Continental. They're going to be super fast on those road time trials we're talking about. Now the big thing, the service that we add here is the customers also asked to try a variety of different crank lengths. So we've got down there in a box 165mm crank, and on fitted right now is 170. Now we've already done the bike fit and I'm pretty convinced this customer is going to enjoy the 170s. So let me talk you through what happens in this room, and I'll come back to that in a second. So when you come to us, we'll either ask you to bring your own bike, and we'll see if you're really comfortable with the bike fit that you've got. We'll try and transfer that bike fit that you're really happy with onto your new bike. If you want to start from scratch, we use the Kicker bikes and a whole bunch of slow motion cameras. The reason I love using these, they feel quite natural to ride first of all, but also they have a variety of different crank lengths built in here, but also the actual handlebar setup is all very standard. So if I need to, we can use this little setup here where we can use a stem sizer and we can use handlebar width or finder, so I can switch this out quite easily. And also if you've got your own aero bars, which a lot of you do now because you sort of upgrade to aero bars along the way and you want to use them, then we can just put the aero bars straight on here and then work your bike fit around stuff that you already own. Dead easy to switch out saddles and all sorts. This is a great little bike fitting tool. And now combine it with a series of slow motion cameras. So you can see up here, we've got two versions of Kinevera running with two cameras. This is brilliant. We record everything at like 60 frames per second, which means that I can record you riding, do everything in slow motion, and you can put overlays on here of all your angles and your straight lines and stuff. So it's really nice to see the progression as you go. I'm not a massive fan of lots of sensors and stuff like that. I like to be able to see it, feel it, talk to people, and then hopefully explain to you guys while you're here what I'm seeing, and then you can kind of be on that journey with us. We also use like the laser levels, and there's loads of other sports testing stuff in here. So we've got various types of muscle oxygen sensors, core body temperature sensors, and obviously power meters built into all of this as well. So we could also have a little bit of a look on your frontal area as well. So time trial fits, it's not full aero fitting, but we can be aware of what's happening with frontal area. So back to crank lengths. This is the interesting thing at the moment, and everyone is talking about crank lengths, the shorter crank phenomenon. What's it all about? What can we do with it in a bike fitting situation like this? Well, we all know that if we fit a shorter crank, then the saddle to the pedal distance is going to be shorter. So we need to put our saddle up to compensate for your foot being closer to your body. But there are lots of different points of a pedal in stroke that we need to think about. So the horizontal is often talked about because we often use this in bike fitting with a laser level, and we try and line up your knee and make sure that your knee's all lined up, etc. But now we've just made that a little bit closer. So do we then push your saddle back to compensate. But actually, the point of a pedal stroke is you actually start producing power around here, just after top dead center. This is the point where we actually start producing power. So here's my thinking on this. We have the opportunity with a shorter crank to open your hip angle. Imagine that this is your hip here, sat on your saddle. This is your femur, this is your torso right here. And we've made that crank a little bit shorter. So we've done this and we've opened up this angle. If we then push your saddle back to compensate, we've now closed it again. Or what we've done, by keeping the handlebar height the same, put the saddle up, we've increased your saddle to bar drop. So really, we should put your handlebar up as well. Now, not everybody can do that. You've already cut the steerer tube, etc. So are you putting a shorter crank to open your hip, give yourself a bit more room, maybe you're carrying a bit of extra weight or you've lost some hip mobility? Are you doing it to try and get more aero and therefore allow yourself to get into a lower area? Or are you trying to find some biomechanical efficiency about finding the power on the pedal stroke? So these are all things that we try and discuss and sort out in the bike fit. I'm pretty sure this customer is going to stick with the 170s, but we do have the 165s here ready to go and demonstrate it. Maybe they're better, who knows, we'll find out. All love a good weigh-in, and here's Hannah with the final numbers. Now, we don't have the pedals, the customer's bringing their own Shimano Dura Ace pedals, and there's no bar tape, but the steerer isn't cut either, and there's still quite a lot of brake hose on there. And we're waiting for the big reveal, wait for those scales to settle down. Now, regular viewers might have noticed that we've been talking about Wilier a lot recently. You might remember this from when we did the Campagnolo 13-speed launch. And the reason is that we've been looking for another brand to add to our stable alongside Time and Look and 51. Because we needed a brand that's got a slightly deeper and wider range on offer at different price points and different types of fits and geometries for people that want to come and engage with the custom build process like you've just seen. Now, the Wilier is really interested me because they're a good quality European heritage brand, and they've got some fantastic high-end models like the Verticale SLR. Can't wait to show you that. But they also have things like the Filante, which you would have seen on Tour de France riders, but they do this in SL and an SLR model, so you get the option of upgrading to a slightly lighter but significantly more expensive model. But the base model we've shown you today is really, really good. They've also got some other models in there. We've got the Supersonica time trial bike, which we can't wait to show you. Simon's just ordered himself one of those. And of course the Rave, the SL, and they do a Rave SLR ID2 with 52mm tyre clearance. I can't wait to show you that. That is going to be a bike that's really suited to the gravel conditions around here. So we're really excited to welcome Wilier to our stable of brand. You're going to see a bit more content from them alongside things like the Look 795, the 785, if you can ever get one in stock. These like unobtainium right now. And of course, Time is still our favourite bike. The Skylon is magnificent, and we cannot wait to see a new ADH that can't be far away. They're in the sale right now, £2,500. So 28mm tyre clearance is okay with you. It's a fantastic deal to be had there. But as you see from the video, come down, come and have a chat. Let's see what we can put together for you. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.